All right, so let's go ahead and look at the new Paragon system in Diablo Immortal. Now, there was plenty of leaks about it. In fact, there were some pretty factual leaks, but I wasn't in a position where I could confirm it due to my NDA. Now that I can talk about it, I am free to talk. I want to talk about how the Paragon system looks, in my opinion, and how I think it'll benefit the game either both positively and or negatively. All right, so in this is the Paragon overview. Now, this is what sort of explains the goal of like in game what it explains the new Paragon system to be. So the first goal is gain 1 Paragon point per Paragon level. Makes sense. Consume Paragon points to unlock the Rite of Exile skill. I think these are just the different skills. Unlock skills to gain combat attributes immediately, and then select 5 activations from unlocked skills to gain the something effect of the skill. Active skills must be on the same array. Okay, so that's really important. But then at Paragon level 300, grants an extra active field. Only special skills can be activated. So there's that. Now let's go ahead and look at the very beginning here. So you can see at the very bottom, there's 5 different fields. So there's the Frenzy, which is more PvE focused. There's a Soul of Conquest, which is PvP focused. And then from there, there's like an offensive, defensive, and then like a movement one. The idea in the long run, short term, is that as soon as we get these, every time you get a new point, you spend it in order to unlock a skill. And then when you unlock the skill, you'll actually also gain those attributes. So unlike the old Paragon system where you actually have to go to the specific attribute one, like i.e. damage, you have to actually collect all the damage ones. Whenever you collect and unlock a new skill, you'll naturally, through progression, unlock those attributes. So you just, even if you already have all the skills you want to make sure you use your Paragon points to activate as many skills as possible, regardless of tree, because you're going to be passively getting those secondary stats. And that's really what you want to pay attention to. So ideally, you're going to be, this is pretty straightforward. It's basically the existing Paragon trees that we have combined into 5 simpler forms, and it allows you to really delve into what you want, all the best parts. So if you have a farming build, obviously you're going to go probably for this top half because it's really tailored to farming. If you're PvPing, there's a whole PvP thing. You can literally tailor your build around how you want to PvP and your game style. So it allows us more flexibility as players. Now, unlike the old Paragon system that we currently have with like 15 different levels where you have to completely reset them all, because you get all of the passive skills, or I guess the secondary traits actively, or I guess passively, whenever you activate a new skill, you're just going to have those all the time. So you can just on the go change whatever the ones you want equipped very, very easily. Now, I think this is a huge W for new people in the game, because as you progress, you don't have to prioritize either finishing a Paragon tree or getting secondary attributes. Instead, you will always get your secondary attributes, and not even just certain ones. You'll get all of them, the same ones at the same amount of time, and you can just pick the new skills that you want on for your Paragon, which is fantastic. It's such a better way of doing it. And then my understanding, based off the gameplay that we had, you can still tie this to your armory. So if you select one and then save it to your armory, it still saves your Paragon tree just like it does currently. So in my opinion, this is like a massive W. I don't know if in this specific shot I cover any more. Let's see. All right, so this is a Soul of Conquest. You can see this is your normal PvP stuff that you're used to. There are some changes. Unfortunately, I didn't click on each and every one, at least not that I can think of. You can see I'm sort of just tailoring around to see the differences. So if I do click on one, boom, you can see all of the attributes you gain. So you get 10 of everything, plus 80 damage, plus 800 life, okay? And then you can see after defeating a player, the recruit's advantage is now 12% for 12 seconds. That's probably leaning into a different skill that already exists, and it's just buffing it. So you want to make sure you're having things that aren't doing that unless you're using the whole stack, essentially. Let's go ahead and continue. So each party member within 50 yards reduces damage taken by 2.5%. Now, this is an interesting strategy. So if you are a free-to-play player in PvP and you're like, I want a PvP, but I'm not a high resonance player, you can lean into like this sort of category, which would actually benefit you and your teammates, because you actually make them take reduced, you take reduced damage with the more people that you're around, which is fantastic. So you play as a team player, you're fighting on the idols, and you're taking less damage, which is going to massively benefit you when you're a free-to-play or even low resonance player in the game when you play PvP. So it allows you to really pick who and what you want to be. These over here are the ones that you're probably used to the most. Like that's the one that keeps you alive. That's the one that, breaks the control effects. That's the one that drops the traps. Some amount of cooldown. I actually don't remember what that one was, and I don't remember what that is either. So these are all ones that you're used to, especially these three, and then you can mix and match as you want for your 5 skills. The big one just tells you which one you have active. Okay, so this one isn't actually a big skill. This will just take the shape of whatever the hell this is. Okay, so this is not a button. Like, it's not like you unlock them all and then you get this, oh, cool, massive button skill. Like, that's not what that is. You just get to pick all 5 of these, and this turns into purple. It turns to this emblem and tells you basically you have Soul of Conquest active. Now, after you get to level 300, that's when you get to activate this bottom part where eventually we'll be able to actually mix and match them a little bit more. So you'll be able to have 5 from one and then 1 trait from a different Paragon tree. And that's where it'll be really fun to mix and match and allow them to be a little bit more flexible to your builds, but in an easy way where, again, you can change it whenever you want, which is so nice. I love this. And yeah, honestly, guys, I think this is a huge W. I think this is a massive W for new players coming to the game. This is, at least in my opinion, and now again, I've been playing the game for almost 2 years now. I think this is really easy to understand, at least easier to understand, and it's a cooler way of looking at it, because if you don't know what something is, you can just click on it, right? And then if you want it, you just click on it, unlock it, and then this turns into an activate button once at the very bottom here, once it's unlocked. So you unlock it, click it again to activate it, boom, you have the skill. You read it, that's what you want, click. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's that easy. You just read the skill, click on it if you want it, and then activate it. Easy peasy. And because they're categorized for you as a new player, I mean, ideally, you probably would even say like PvP or PvE, you know what I mean? Or like some amount of like player versus player, or like a little tooltip that pops up saying like player versus player, or, you know, player versus environment or something like that. But it's also pretty obvious. Like, if you played any amount of a game before, like, you're going to understand really quickly that clearly this is about, like, especially these over here, when it talks about being killed by an enemy player, or being, you know, controlled by an enemy player, like, it's PvP. But yeah, anyway, so I think this is a huge W. I think it's gonna be super, super easy. I've heard people say that it's complex, which I think if you look at it just like this as is, as just its own entity, without actually being, without the ability of clicking on it, I think that's the difference. I haven't been able to play with it. I've been able to click on them, look at them, move them around, equip the different ones that I want. So it makes sense to me. And I think as soon as you guys, those of you that think it is complicated, have the ability of doing that when it does come to the game, I feel like you too will feel like it's very easy. I could see where just at face value it's overwhelming, but it's so much easier than the current one. So I think this is a nice win. There we go. So we click around. The cooldown of controller free has been reduced from 30 seconds to 20 seconds, and then trap decrease. So again, this is reducing the cooldown for these two. Pretty straightforward. We have the trap below 30% life. Every 5 yards you move for 6 seconds creates a slow trap. At the foot, cannot trigger more often than once every 40 seconds. And then you can see it costs 4 Paragon points to unlock. You click it, and then it has the active button available to you. Boom. So you can see actually the circle too shows you how much I've progressed on it. I reset it because I was playing with it, right? And then this is reduced duration by 10%. I think of stuff hitting you. This is obviously a big one, so I don't know if you guys caught that. I moved a little fast. Go to click on it. It costs 12. Okay, so it was a little bug at the bottom where it said 4. It actually costs 12 to unlock it. So some of, they're not all created equal. Some or more are better than others and will allow you, when they allow you the ability of actually leaning into it and getting something really, really good, it costs a little bit more. So you can work towards it when you're unlocking your Paragon levels as a new player. But as a returning player, obviously you'll probably be able to max out almost all of these, even with the Paragon squish. So I think it's a huge W, guys, but I'm really curious what everyone else's feedback is. Generally speaking, I think this is a huge win for, again, new players, returning players, no matter who you are in the game. I think this is a huge win for anyone that plays Diablo Immortal. But I'm really curious. So far from Reddit and from comments, I think I've seen mainly positive reviews, but please, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And again, if you have feedback, I'm more than happy to share that information with the developers, as long as it's productive criticism. So keep that in mind, and until next time, guys, I hope to see you in a video soon with so much more Tempest content coming your way for the new update in under a week. Until next time, see you later.